Attention passionate LAS, Vegas Raiders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Las Vegas Raiders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Las Vegas Raiders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and LAS, Vegas Raiders FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright, Raiders fans, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you could shake up the entire AFC West. We know the Raiders have been building something special, especially on the defensive side, where Max Crosby has been a beacon of consistency and intensity. But now, there's this buzz, a rumor, a real possibility that might just take the Raiders' defense to a whole new level. And it involves none other than Von Miller. Yes, you heard that right. Von Miller, the veteran pass rusher who's been terrorizing quarterbacks for over a decade, might be donning the silver and black. And honestly, fans are split, but a strong majority seem to be saying, why not? Let's rewind a bit and talk about the man himself, Von Miller. He's a future Hall of Famer in the making, with a resume packed with highlights, sacks, and game-changing plays. Over his illustrious career, Miller has been a force of nature, a guy who can turn a game around with a single rush. His time with the Denver Broncos, where he hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, and later with the Los Angeles Rams, showcased his ability to elevate a defense and be a leader on and off the field. At 36, many might think his best days are behind him, but Miller himself has made it clear he's not done yet. He recently said that he fully plans to play in the 2025 season, which means he's still got a lot to offer. Now, the fans' reaction has been fascinating. We recently ran a poll on social media, asking the Raiders faithful if they'd be on board with signing Von Miller. Out of nearly 500 votes, a solid 65% said yes, they're all in, eager to see Miller join the silver and black. The remaining 35%, though, are a bit more cautious. They argue that at his age, and considering the wear and tear he's accumulated, maybe Miller can't bring as much to the table anymore. They're concerned about how much he can really help the team, especially in a league that's so physically demanding. But let's be honest, Raiders fans know the importance of a veteran presence, especially one with Miller's pedigree. His leadership, his experience, and his relentless motor could be exactly what this defense needs to push to the next level. And speaking of what he can bring, it's worth noting what Miller himself has said. He's not just looking to be a situational pass rusher. He wants to be a part of a team that can contend and, more importantly, contribute to a winning culture. He's talked about how he can serve as a locker room leader, guiding younger players, and setting the tone for intensity and professionalism. For a franchise like the Raiders, which has been in a bit of a rebuild phase, that kind of veteran leadership can be invaluable. Imagine Miller working alongside Max Crosby, who's already established himself as one of the premier pass rushers in the league. The two could form a formidable duo, forcing quarterbacks to rush their throws and creating chaos in opposing backfields. Now, you might be wondering, where does Miller fit in with the current roster? Well, the Raiders have a solid core of defensive ends, Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and Tyree Wilson, who are all talented and capable. But depth and rotation are just as important as star power. Adding someone like Miller would give head coach Josh McDaniels more options, allowing him to rotate pass rushers and keep opponents guessing. It also provides a safety net if injuries strike, which they inevitably do over a grueling NFL season. Plus, having a veteran like Miller in the locker room could help accelerate the development of younger players, teaching them the nuances of rushing the passer, reading offensive linemen, and maintaining focus during crunch time. Of course, there are some questions. Can Miller still be a dominant force? Will his age and recent injury history limit his impact? And how much salary cap space would the Raiders need to make this happen? These are real concerns, but the Raiders have shown in the past that they're not afraid to make bold moves if it means boosting their chances of winning. And let's be honest, adding a player of Miller's caliber would send a message to the rest of the league. The Raiders are serious about competing, and they're willing to go after proven veterans who want to win. Looking at the bigger picture, this potential signing could have ripple effects across the AFC West. The Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos are all loaded with talent, but adding Miller to the Raiders' defense could be a game changer. Imagine him lining up opposite Crosby, forcing offenses to double team or double read, freeing up other pass rushers and linebackers to make plays. It's a scenario that could make the Raiders' defense one of the most feared in the league, and that's exactly what they need if they want to make a deep playoff run this year. Now, let's talk about what the season looks like for the Raiders. Coming off a solid 2023 campaign, there's a renewed sense of optimism in Las Vegas. The team's young core, including quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, receiver Davante Adams, and the emerging talents on defense, have all shown flashes of greatness. But consistency has been a challenge. Adding a veteran like Miller could be the piece that helps bring everything together, a guy who's been through the wars, who understands what it takes to win in December and January. The AFC West is a tough division, no doubt about it, but the Raiders have been quietly building something special, and bringing in a player like Miller could be the final piece to push them over the top. And let's not forget the history of the Raiders' defense. Since their return to Las Vegas, the team has been focusing on building a tough, resilient unit. The addition of Miller could reinforce that identity. His presence alone can elevate the energy in the locker room and on the field. It's about setting a tone, making sure opponents know that when they face the Raiders, they're in for a fight. That's the kind of mentality that winning teams have, and Miller embodies it perfectly. Now, I know some of you out there might be thinking, is this just wishful thinking? Well, sure, nothing is guaranteed in the NFL, but history shows that adding seasoned veterans with playoff experience can make all the difference. Look at how guys like Von Miller have impacted teams in the past. His leadership and on-field production could be the X factor for the Raiders this season. Plus, with the NFL's salary cap and roster rules, it's not impossible. Rumors are swirling, and some insiders suggest that the Raiders are exploring all options. So, Raiders fans, what do you think? Would Von Miller be the perfect veteran addition to push this team into serious playoff contention? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in the silver and black? Or do you think age and injury concerns outweigh the benefits? Whatever your thoughts, I want to hear from you. Drop your comments below, tell us what you think about this potential signing, and how you see it impacting the Raiders' future. This is a team on the rise, and every move counts when aiming for that elusive Super Bowl. As we look ahead, the next few weeks could be pivotal. The NFL offseason is full of surprises, and the Raiders are certainly in the mix for some big moves. Whether it's Von Miller or another veteran, one thing is for sure, the team is not content to sit still. They are hungry, they are determined, and they're ready to make a statement. The AFC West is a battleground, but the Raiders are positioning themselves as serious contenders, and adding a player like Miller could be the spark that ignites their championship run. And now, Las Vegas Raiders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Raiders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Las Vegas Raiders news. The offseason is just heating up and the best is yet to come. This team has the talent, the passion, and the drive to contend, and with your support, we'll be right here to bring you every detail, every rumor, and every official move. Thanks for sticking with us, and remember, Raiders Nation, we rise together.